It's Wednesday, April the 12th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today afternoon update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, government gets a new tool to help ease the worrying backlog of court cases. It started this morning in the St. Matthias Magistrates Court. The United States Embassy today donated a Liberty Court recording software that would provide the court with the ability to digitally record cases and facilitate a video link with witnesses and plaintiffs from remote locations. Minister of Home Affairs Adriel Brathwaite says each magistrate's court would ultimately have a similar system in place.
So by the end of May, I can confirm all of the magistrates will be able to have access to electronic recording of evidence. As the registrar said, you know, for generations, magistrates have been writing everything by longhand. And you're right, it's about time for them to be brought into the 21st century. That's what we're doing.
Expressing gratitude for the new system, Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson says it will benefit the court in several areas.
It's designed to make us more efficient. It's also designed to allow for the use of technology to do a number of things, as I said before, things like prison video link, you know, being able to do bail hearings with the applicants at the prison so that you don't need to bring them here.
A secondary school teacher here has likened the marking of the controversial schools-based assessments to slavery. Speaking from the floor during a lecture by CXC Registrar Glenroy Cumberbatch at the Steel Shed last night, Charlotte Aline Green complained that while she labors by marking and remarking about 60 SBAs without pay, markers of the oral English examination were paid. She called for pay equity and compared her conditions to slavery.
To learn that the language teacher is getting $62.50 to conduct that oral, which will be seen as a paper treat in that exam, I'm not getting $1, not a cent, to conduct 3 drafts, say, per 60 students. If I got 30, yeah, 2, so 30 and 30, 60, yeah. At least 2 classes, 3 times per student. That is not fair. So I think it's about time that there be equality being shown to the markers of the SBAs across the board, not just in one area, but all the subject disciplines.
And retired Deputy Principal of the University of the West Indies Cayfield campus, Professor Pedro Welch, said when he was teaching, SBAs were never an imposition, but rather a way of helping teachers with students.
It was an aid to me, not what we call an imposition. So I'm just wondering, in this current climate, when there are these questions about CXC and whether people should be paid for doing CXC, SBAs. If the SBA, if we pass the original formulation, have we moved past that? Has the SBA changed in its function in terms of helping teachers to be able to locate the students in a particular curriculum?
And the CXC registrar noted that SBAs were helpful to teachers in bringing together students into one group instead of having to deal with them individually.
What has changed, though, is that instead of doing those 9, you will do one project now for history, and that one project can also be a group project, including more than one student within that process as a thing. So we have looked at it. We try not to remove that aspect of teachers' contribution to information that will help us make judgments of the pupil's ability, but we have tried to make it in a way that works for both purposes, to assist teachers in doing it, but also to give good, reliable information to us.
The umbrella organization for the island's small business sector is worried about the future viability of the Pelican Craft Village located next to the Bridgetown port. Chief Executive Officer of the Small Business Association, Lynette Holder, is concerned that those vendors operating within the village may have to shut up shop if government doesn't act quickly to put a marketing strategy in place to keep the businesses alive.
I think the IDC though needs to sit and in a very strategic way look at the viability of this estate. It's the truth, right? It is a stone's throw away from our seaport, right? But yet, you've been made to know that when ships are in, the majority of passengers are ferried out of the Pelican area to sites all over the country, which nothing is wrong with going to see other sites, but there is not a strategic effort to ensure that persons pass through, visit, or in some way come in contact with that Pelican Craft Village. And I think there's a need for a strategic plan on the part of the IDC. What are we going to do with it? Either we're going to recognize that it has a value-added component to bring to bear on other tourism product, right? Or we're going to look to redevelop it and do something else with it.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Good morning, Phillips & Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips?
Yeah?
There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Will she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Look, don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the Nation? They're real expensive, and for one year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Mom, are you still there? Oh, she put it down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. The St. Lucia government and opposition have clashed over proposed changes to the Citizenship by Investment program and an opposition motion to fully debate the planned amendments. But after Prime Minister Alan Chastanet formally requested more time from the House Speaker to review the motion, he is now taking exception to the wording and has accused the opposition of treason.
Prime Minister Chastanet subsequently told the press that he was uncomfortable with the wording of the motion, which he contends contains statements that were not based on fact. The opposition SLP has taken exception to his recent statements, however, which accused them of, quote, treason. The comments were in response to questions posed by the media about the SLP's threat to reverse changes made by the CIP by the current government, including the revocation of citizenships. On Tuesday, opposition leader Philip J. Pierre called the statements dangerous. He claims their only intention was to have frank, open debate on changes to CIP regulations.
The Prime Minister could have come to the opposition and listened to me. These are the reasons why I intend to change it, and let us discuss it. He didn't do it. He unilaterally changed it. We went to Parliament with a properly constituted motion to debate the changes. The Prime Minister, by his own deliberate interference in the processes of Parliament, aborted our responses to the CIP.
And on the international scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin said today that trust had eroded between the United States and his country under President Donald Trump as Moscow delivered an unusually hostile reception to Secretary of State Rex Tillerson in a face-off over Syria.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov meeting in Moscow. And there's more than a table separating them.
Our meetings today come at an important moment in the relationship so that we can further clarify areas of common objectives, areas of common interest, even when our tactical approaches may be different.
This bit's for the cameras. Behind closed doors, specific tensions over the war in Syria are likely to spill over. Russia has reacted furiously to a US missile strike last week, targeting a Syrian airbase, suspected of launching a chemical weapons attack. The mudslinging stepping up Wednesday. President Vladimir Putin saying trust between the US and Russia has deteriorated since Donald Trump took office, and asserting that the reported chemical attack could have been faked to discredit the Syrian government. Across the Atlantic, one White House source has accused Russia of a cover-up. The Trump administration saying Tuesday Moscow is trying to shield President Bashar al-Assad's government. The rhetoric and tensions being ratcheted up ahead of this face-to-face. Only a week ago, it was supposed to be about rapprochement. The key words for the cameras here, about addressing misunderstandings and increasing cooperation. But on Syria, the pair only appear to be moving further away from each other.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and the gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.